So what's going on? So was there anything in your past relationship that you learned from?
You go first.
I'm actually back with my ex, and he has improved a lot, and I love him so much. So he has gotten better.
How long were you guys separated for?
We were together for 2 years, and then we separated for about 7 months, and we're back together, and we've been together for 4 years now.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you see are you guys considering marriage?
I don't see us breaking up anytime soon, so yeah.
Cool. So what do you think you learned the most from that in term of being separated?
I think that personally, I couldn't be with anybody better, and and at the end of the day, we both tried to get to know other people, and from a young age, we got together when we were both 14. From a young age, yeah, we both learned we get each other the best, and at the end of the day, nobody else is worth it. We tried to get to know other people, and it just wasn't worth it. Nobody got us as well as we get each other.
What do you think modes you guys what do you think makes you guys work, and is there anything specific that
We're just very alike. At the end of the day, not very alike, but I'm very emotional. He's very in tune to work and making money and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we just get each other. We've known each other since we were very young, and we just get each other.
that makes sense? Was there anything that you learned from in past relationships, or no? You had successful ones, or
Men are liars.
okay?
Explain it though. Explain it.
If they say they're done with their ex, they're not done with their ex.
Why not?
She was the other girl.
I was the other woman. I was unfortunately the other woman, and I was not aware of that fact.
Was there anything that you noted that you should have noticed before that might have give you a clue? Was there anything? What were the fucking flags?
Well, no, it was not my fault at all because he lied.
No, not your fault, but was there any signs that showed that maybe he would do something like that?
I had to learn that there is a very fine line between hate and love. Completely fine if they are talking shit about their ex. That does not mean they hate them. It very much means they love them, and that's what I had to learn.
I think if you're talking a lot of shit about your ex, that means you're still in love with them.
Yes.
Oof. It's weird because I feel like this. If you're bringing up your ex constantly, it means that you might not be over them because it's just not the time to bring it up. I feel like.
Exactly. I think if you're genuinely over your ex in your past, you're not talking about it. You'll bring it up briefly to somebody that you're with right now, but if you're genuinely over somebody, you will not talk about them as much as, for example, her ex did with her.
Well, I don't know why it's so common for people to bring up their exes, especially on dates. Do you guys do that, or do you guys think that's normal, or is that something bad?
I mean, I love my mom, and my mom is the person who taught me everything. So she's the one that taught me that there's a very thin line between hate and love. So if you are talking about your ex in any way, shape, or form, that is a very much red flag.
I completely agree. When me and my boyfriend now were broken up, I would constantly bring up him and I would try to convince myself that I was over him, but I wasn't, and I knew that deep down. And the guys that I was technically talking to also knew that. But now that I think about it, I'm I talked about him so much because I wasn't over him, and now we're back together and we're great.
Do you think that it's beneficial to talk about maybe some things that your ex saw that were flaws in you that maybe the new person should watch out for? Maybe red flags about yourself in past relations, things that you failed in your past relationship. Is that important to bring up in your current relationship?
I think so, to a certain extent. I think all the time, it's good to bring up your ex in your past relationship to a certain extent.
What do you think that extent is? Maybe once you've gotten to know each other, you've been maybe dating for more than 6 months, something like.
I think it's always to be in a new relationship, it's always a factor to know about your past relationship, because that's how you've formed in a relationship at the end of the day. But I think that if you're talking about it too much, you're clearly not over it. But at the end of the day, if you're like really ready for a new relationship, you'll bring it up here and there if somebody asks. But if you really want to be in something new, it's only if somebody asks. Like, it's only if somebody's really curious, and if you're trying to think of the words to say. But if you're like trying to make a healthy relationship out of the new relationship that you're in, of course the past relationship is a factor. It will always be. Like, if you had trust issues in your past relationships, you have to bring that up in your new relationship. Because if you don't, then it's like, how are you going to overcome that? But, yeah.
I think it's important to maybe tell your partner some of the flaws that you have so they're aware, so they don't have to discover it and be surprised. I think that's beneficial, being vulnerable. Because if you're taking someone seriously, I think it's important to tell them your flaws so that they know whether they want to be with you with those flaws.
I completely agree. At the end of the day, like, everybody has flaws, and if you're gonna be with somebody new, they have to know like what to be aware of. So that's what I think. If you're like still not over your ex, you're gonna talk about them a lot. If you are, it's gonna be like something that you do bring up at times, because who doesn't bring up their ex? Like, it was a big part of your life. Whether you were with them for a couple months or a couple years, it doesn't matter. It was a part of your life, and it was something that will affect your relationships in the future. So at the end of the day, when you're talking to somebody new or you're planning on getting together with somebody in the future, they're gonna ask. And they're gonna ask, what do I need to make you feel more secure about, and what blah, blah, blah. Like, it doesn't matter. They're gonna ask, or even if they don't ask, it's something that you're gonna want to tell them, because it's just like a part of the relationship. How you were treated in the past is gonna affect how you're treated in the future.
I completely agree with that. Hey, thank you guys for doing this.